Hi guys, I am Vipul Viswas, from Electronics and Telecommunication Engineering, second sem. I made this video to aware you about what is web development and what is Android development. I think many of you are pretty aware with that, but I want to explain you little about this topics because it needed in our college because in every college I think that there should be a developer community where everyone is eager to develop their own college applications. For example, club apps and different type of data collecting app, etc. So I want to explain you about what is this. I'm not alone explaining this. My friends, they are from different cities. They also want to explain you, aware you about these topics, and also introduce about their fields, what they are what they are doing in this lockdown period. I think it is the best opportunity for all the college students to make this period productive. Let's start with the topic. As I am an Android developer, I'm seen developing apps from last 6 months, and now I am capable to take some assignments from different organizations, small organizations like NGOs, but I still not taking that as an assignment. So I just want to explain you that Android development is nothing different like from the software development. Software development in where you are developing applications in the Windows, is a computer operating system like Windows, Linux, iOS, and etc. But here this operating system is Android in mobile phones or any smart gadget. There is operating system is Android or iOS and other also, but we are interested here to developing in Android. So I guess it is a little different, but the concept is same but in different way, because here is a various function that you need to call step by step. You need to know the thread. You can control the flow of your application. Okay, it is not based on user. Okay, it is a basically difference between the software development and Android development. So Android development is a very interesting field. I think you should pursue one of the courses which is during this lockdown period, which is very helpful for you to know what is going on in IT sector also, because they are also eager to recruit some of the developers from the Android and iOS, or also from the cross-platform. For example, as you know, there is a native application of the Android is the Android Studio, where you developing Android applications, whereas there is also a native cross-platform application like Google Flutter and various other platform also, which is not native, just like React Native. So as you start learning about the Android, it is very easy, I guess. Many of you are knowing about the programming language. You can use any of the language as a beginner, and then you shift to Java, which is a core language for the Android development. I want to suggest you that if you are starting with Java, then don't start with Java to learn full end of it, because when you are starting developing Android, there is a various different functions that you are not aware of that, because they are all native functions which is only used in Android. So I feel that if you are not starting, then start with the Java, practicing Java daily, latest, because only to know the fundamental and the threads of the Java language, and then you start about what you want to apply design. So I suggest you that Android development, learning about Android development is very easy. That you first needed to develop. You just starting Android developing Android application, because there is no, I think there is no one who only you need a mentor to guide you about the flaws and the difficulties about the Android development. But if you want to learn, you need to start developing. After learning Java, you watch some videos how to develop Android, and then directly start developing the Android app, because you needed it is only because of you, because the mentor only guide you about what is flaws and what is wrong with your app, what happen if you done that. So all the thing is on your hands. So I think you start developing Android app, and by developing you can learn it perfectly. So I think this type of practicing is only happen when our college has a developer community, so to which inspire other young developers to start their journey of developing Android app or being a developer. So I think when it is only happen when in our college support us. So our Techno Hub Club is trying to create a developer community. It is only happen when when all of our members supported this agenda. I think all of you are needed to give your polls or give your important votes to our voting system, that if we are doing something and if we need your help about your suggestion, then please suggest that. I think it should be a great if all of you suggest, but it is not happened till now. But I want to suggest you or aware you, if you want to be a developer, a good developer, and you want to develop your app in your whole college life, then please help us and vote us to different agendas that we are taking in front of you, because any technologies right now we are using is only based on data. So if you want that we met your expectation, we stand upon your expectation, you need to give your data or your important votes. I mean your data means I mean your votes. So please poll. Thank you. And my friends are also want to aware you or give you some idea about the field, what they are doing. And if you are not practicing coding, then there is a field which my friend Dhiman Das Gupta introduced you, which not needed to practice much coding, but it is an interesting field also. Thank you.
Hello guys, so good evening, this is Dipan Sharma. So today we are going to talk about what exactly is web development. So let's begin. So what exactly is web development? Web development is the process involved in kind of manufacturing, the process of developing the web page, uploading it up to a specific domain so that various users can access it. Several different languages are used. For example, first of all we use HTML. It is not exactly a language, it is just a markup tool used to design or align web pages. And then we have CSS3, we have the upgraded version of HTML is HTML5, we have JavaScript. So all these when combined together build up a very good web page, and then the rest part is the domain part. So guys, as you can see, here is a certain example. Here we have a web page template of a car rental company. Here you can see here is a Porsche Cayenne S. So as you can see, the entire graphics, the images, the logos, the buttons, that is the add car button, or maybe blank fields which can be used to fill data as well. All these can be done with the help of HTML as well as all the designing part is done through CSS, as well as when it comes to the data entry part, it is done with the help of JavaScript, and also we call it a certain something called PHP. PHP is used to enter and save data for a website. So as you can see, entering data, saving data is a huge part which is played by PHP. Also guys, the full form of PHP is a personal homepage. It is basically HTML enabled server-side scripting used for web development. Well, it is also used as a general purpose programming language. And then we come to CSS. CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets. It basically consists of several different combinations of font art, font colors, font buttons, each one of these things, you name it. Either it is the way that is, for example, in this case here you see when I move the cursor of the mouse through these specific buttons, you can see here contact, it is highlighted in red. There are several commands used to do these special effects. The transparency of this bar, the title bar, the background effect, for example, this image, this scroll effect used in this web page, everything is done using CSS. So guys, currently major things used in web development are number 1 HTML5, number 2 CSS3, and number 3 JavaScript. So this is all the designing part. We call it web designing. There are two different categories for when we come into the web domain. There is number 1 web designing, and second one is web development. Web development consists of many parts. Actually, web designing is just a simple subcategory of it. Web designing only consists of designing web pages. It does not concern with the online issues.
Hello everyone, this is Dhiman Dasgupta from first year ETC, and today I am going to tell you about testing of operating systems on your smartphones. This will be mainly comprised of Android based operating systems and user interfaces. This comprises of 3 parts. First is introduction to operating systems, second is system requirements for testing, and third is advantages of testing. You can boot your Android device into 3 different modes. First is system, second is recovery, and third is fast boot. First, let us know about the bootloader, as it forms an integral part of this procedure. The bootloader is a set of instructions which tells the operating system what to load and in what order. Rebooting a bootloader effectively unlocks the set parameters and allows the user to customize the stock operating software. Now let us talk about the terms that I had mentioned before, that is recovery, fast boot, and system. In Android, recovery refers to the dedicated bootable partition that has the recovery console installed. A combination of key presses or instructions from a command line will boot up your phone to recovery mode, where you can find tools to help recover your installation as well as install official operating system updates. Because Android is open and has the recovery source code available, building a customized version with more and different options is relatively easy as well. Next, let us talk about fast boot mode. Fast boot is a protocol that can be used to refresh partitions on your Android device, that is, update the flash file system in Android devices. It is this small tool that comes with the Android SDK, that is Software Developer Kit, which is an alternative to the recovery mode for doing installations and updates. While in fast boot mode, you can modify the file system images from a computer over a USB connection. Fast boot mode can start on your device even before Android loads, even under the circumstances when Android isn't at all. And because of that, fast boot mode is useful for quick updating the firmware without having to use a recovery mode. Third, let's talk about the system. Booting up into system is nothing special, but just booting up the default Android. So, Android-based operating systems and custom user interfaces that are based on Android have these 3 modes. Hereby we finish getting introduced to the OS. Now let's move on to the second topic of discussion, that is system requirements for testing. Android devices run on several processors. Some of them are Qualcomm Snapdragon, MediaTek, Kirin, Exynos, etc. Snapdragon processor based devices are lucky enough to have the most number of custom recoveries available in the market, which is also essential for testing an operating system. MediaTek devices too have an official recovery, but that doesn't help much because that doesn't help if something goes wrong during the flashing procedure. Next, you should have an unlocked bootloader to be able to install a custom recovery. To To unlock the bootloader, simply go on your PC or laptop, connect your device via USB, launch the ADB, that is Android Debugging Bridge on your PC and type the respective commands on the command line. Now what is a custom recovery? As I said earlier that recoveries are modifiable. Therefore, custom recoveries are designed to flash or install an operating system on a device by performing several actions such as wiping the existing system and installing the new system. Here you will see how we boot up to the custom recovery and on which partitions we perform actions to install a new system. We wipe data, system, vendor and Dalvik cache partitions, then flash the ROM zip file, and after it installs successfully we boot up to the new system. The initial boot up takes quite some time, so we have to be patient while the system boots up for the first time. Now here we finish knowing about the system requirements. To sum up, we require an unlocked bootloader and a custom recovery installed in our device. Now here I give you a warning. Please be properly informed about your respective devices, as you may end up bricking your device without proper knowledge of operating system installation and may be left with a pretty expensive piece of paperweight. There are many types of custom recoveries available in the market. Some of them are TeamWin Recovery Project, that is TWRP, Orange Fox Custom Recovery, Peters Custom Recovery, Pitch Black Custom Recovery, Coffee's Custom Recovery, etc. Now we come to the last topic of discussion, that is, what are the advantages of testing. Imagine, wouldn't it be interesting to get the features that are on the cutting edge? Wouldn't it be interesting if you get access to the new features beforehand, or maybe even be able to develop one yourself? The secondary reason being, these days our Android phones come with a custom user interface or operating system on top of Android, unless it runs on Android 1 project. And it doesn't always run smooth enough. We face lags and bugs here and there and wish that we had got vanilla Android on it to get a smooth experience. Well, with a custom recovery, anything is possible on Android devices. You can switch to stock Android to get rid of the lags and bugs and enjoy a blazing smooth experience on your device. Some people are feature fans and love to have a feature-rich device, me being one of them. So one can test custom ROMs which come loaded with features and customizations, so you get to know what your device is actually capable of offering. Officially, our Android devices come with a software upgrade eligibility up to one Android version, and if lucky enough, maybe two, and an year of extended security patches. But with custom ROMs, you can extend Android support for as many upcoming versions of Android as you wish to, and extend security patch updates, which are crucial for security of Android phones. For example, I have a device which came on Android 9 and received Android 10 officially. But via custom ROMs, we have stretched the support to Android 11 even, and it will continue to support upcoming versions of Android. So your devices never really get old. And for feature fans, this is one big thing. And for your information, Android R has already hit on the testers' devices. Last but not the least, you can even go ahead and develop your own features and test them out. So I conclude here with the advantages mentioned. Thank you so much for watching.